My name is Tristan Asbury, candidate for Northern Boone County District 2 Commissioner. I currently serve as the Director of Strategic Communications for the Missouri Association of Realtors. That's Missouri's largest trade association, serving just over 22,000 members. In addition, my wife Carrie and I, and she's right back here, we own and operate a mid-Missouri company focused on promoting Missouri agriculture. Can't tell you how fortunate we are to not only promote Missouri's largest industry, but an industry we're so passionate about. As for why I'm running and the real reason we're here tonight, first, this is my home. This is where my wife and I planted our roots, started our business, and most importantly, intend to raise our children. I want to ensure the future is bright for not only my children, but for families throughout Boone County for future generations to come. Second, and to be completely honest with you, Boone County is lacking the leadership it deserves. I'm running to make a positive difference in county leadership and to ensure we move Boone County toward greater growth, safer communities, and higher living standards. That said, first and foremost, we need to ensure that our public safety entities receive the resources they need to be successful. Safe communities leads to greater economic growth, which in turn provides higher living standards for the folks of Boone County. I'm going to do something I haven't done in a long time, and I'm going to keep it short. I want to hear from a couple of y'all after the fact, and I know these other gentlemen have some stuff to say too. But the very last thing, and one of the most important things we need to do right now, is bring transparency back to local government. Transparency will fix so many issues that transparency creates accountability, and that is what we need. The folks need to be held accountable for their actions. A lot of lives have been affected by the decisions made by one or two individuals, and that needs to change.
Hi, my name is Sam Boyce, and I'm originally from Lynn, Missouri, and that's quite a bit like Harrisburg. So small towns are near and dear to my heart. And I understand small town values and the problems that small towns can encounter. And it seems like that Boone County has kind of ignored Harrisburg particularly. They've treated them like, I used to have red hair so I can say this, they've treated them like redheaded stepchildren. And that's just a shame because they don't get the support, the money support or anything else that they need. There's lots of things that need to be done here in town that they haven't done. It seems like every time they do something, they're trying to cram something down the people's throats here in this Harrisburg, Missouri area. And that's not the way it should be. You know, we have a democratic process and everybody's vote and everybody's voice should be heard. But unfortunately with our county government, they don't like to do that. They like to get behind a closed door, maybe two of the three, and I think that's happening more than what we realize. I think there's more meetings taking place without the Republican involved than what we know about. And I think they're having meetings talking about the windmills that nobody knows about either. Because I've tried to find out information about the windmills, and it's just like you hear crickets out there. Nobody knows anything for sure what's going on. They think they do, but they don't. And I understand the windmill issue a little bit. I've done a little study on it. Property rights are really important to me, and I think they're important to everybody. But it's kind of like the hog confinement deal. Sometimes things just aren't good for a community, and you got to look at the overall impact it has on a community, and what's good just for a few may not necessarily be good for the whole group, and you got to take that into consideration. But anyway, the reason I wanted to be commissioner is because I was really sick of the lack of transparency that was going on with our current individual, Janet Thompson, and she doesn't return phone calls. I've talked to, and I'm sure you guys have also had this happen, I've talked to probably at least 24 people that said that she has not returned phone calls regarding issues with roads and so forth. Well, that's not going to happen, I don't think, not only with me, but I don't think it would happen to either one of these three guys here too. And if these guys get in and I don't, that's fine. I'm going to support them 100%. And that's the way it has to be. We've got to beat Janet Thompson. So with that, I'm going to cut it short too. But thank you all for the chance to talk.
I'm Jim Musgraves, one of the candidates for Boone County Commissioner for the Northern District, District 2. Why am I running? I'm running, and you're probably going to hear this theme quite a bit, because Boone County is my home, and I want to make it a better place for everybody that lives here. My kids are raised, they're 32 and 28, so I'm not putting the kids in school, but this is still my home. A couple of things, what do I bring to the fight? I'm retired. I retired last year from the U.S. Navy after spending a little over 31 years serving.
Thank you for your service.
Yes. Thank you. What did I get out of that? Well, I started as an E1, which is a recruit, and I retired as an 05, which is a commander. What I got out of that process was a whole bunch of leadership and management experience. I learned how to successfully build teams, large teams and small teams, and I learned how to employ them successfully in a variety of different environments. In people comes managing assets and budgets. I gained a lot of experience managing millions of dollars in assets, helicopters, maintenance equipment, things of that nature, as well as managing budgets, some from the thousands and some into the multi-millions of dollars. That, I think, is something critical that Boone County needs to do. Boone County's got an $86 million budget. All right, anytime you ever hear a politician say only in front of any amount of money that's not theirs, they need to be fired, okay? And if they're gonna say only $12,500 that they bought into the Columbia farmers market to help boost, they said only in front of that, I don't care who it was, fire them. That's not their money. You can't say only in front of that. I don't say only in front of any amount of money greater than $5 unless I have less than $5 in my own wallet, right? If it's $3, then I don't say only. I digress. So I got the leadership and the management experience I think will benefit Boone County greatly. Something you heard Tristan say, and you're going to hear Brennan say, and you heard Sam allude to in the past, a huge problem that Boone County Commission has is accountability through transparency. Sam talked about it a little bit, how they're hiding stuff. They're doing these, they got a quorum, so you got two people that lean to the left or are far to the left, leaving the guy on the right out of the conversation. So you just eliminated half of Boone County's population at that point. That's not right. Accountability through transparency, that's called leadership right there. Right? Leaders are in touch with their people. All right? The Boone County Commissioners are employees of the populace of Boone County. That's who we answer to, right? You can't hide, you shouldn't be hiding stuff from them. If you're hiding stuff, you're not leading. And that's a problem that Boone County has right now, in my opinion. That's another reason I'm running. I think there's a leadership vacuum in Boone County. How do we get there? Accountability through transparency. I also think public safety is critical. I'm not going to belabor that point. We talked about that in Centralia a little bit, but there's two critical pieces of that. Boone County Sheriff's Department, do they have enough people and resources to meet the reasonable response times for the population? And two, the Boone County Fire Protection District. People, resources, and response time. Take care of our residents. Is that true or false? We can answer them questions, talk to the leadership of those two organizations, and generate solutions. And the last thing is economic development. I support all economic development. I think Brennan's a fan of saying expand the tax base, not the tax rate. I love that. I think that's critical. And how do you do that? Through economic development. I think the problem that Boone County has had in the past, if you drive down any one of the roads, particularly the roads outside of Columbia, and I shouldn't eliminate Columbia because their roads are terrible also.
Yes.
If you drive on them roads, we're getting development, housing developments, but we're not, the infrastructure is not being developed or maintained concurrently with that economic development. That's a problem.
Hi, I'm Brendan Riddle, candidate for Northern Boone County Commissioner. As we've all talked about, and I could drone on ad nauseum about the deficiencies we have in Boone County government right now. That's been covered. Why do I think I'm the candidate for the job? I've got a decade of experience in corporate. I was president of an organization. When I stepped down as president of that organization, I'd left them with a year's operating funds in reserve. I have a history of getting things done. I'm currently a licensed professional electrician. In that position, I have to build teams 12 or 15 times a year, every project. I have to manage the budgets and the resources to get all of those projects done simultaneously on a regular basis, all of those teams. So I have the ability to handle diverse ongoing projects. Do we need to support infrastructure? Absolutely. We have to support law enforcement? Absolutely. There's no reason to drag this out. I'm the only candidate who's a licensed professional. I'm the only candidate with kids in public schools right now. I've got the history of performance. I thank you for your time, and I ask you for your vote.